Okay, good evening, everyone. And once again, you're welcome to today's class. Okay, good evening, Joy. Good evening, Gentle White. Good evening, Faye. Good evening, Samuel. Yeah, it's nice to have everyone back. And I want to believe it was a very long and restful holiday, right? So, as our usual custom, yeah, we will wait a little bit for others to join the section. And while we have the class going on. So let's just keep it interactive like we normally do. So it was a very long holiday. The last class was on Thursday, I guess. Yeah, good evening, Ayomide. Good evening, Blessing. Good evening, Adeyemi. Good evening, Taiwo. Good evening, Adeyemi. Okay, Adeyemi again. It's nice to have everyone back again for the, will I say the final lap? Will it be justifiable if I say this is the final lap? And I'm so happy to see some names that started this training and you are still here till now. Honestly, I want to say a very big shout out, yeah, to everybody who has been a part of this class right from the beginning. Now, a special shout out to those who are making use of their LMS, right? They have a special place in our hearts. So to those that are not complying with the rules and regulation, right? That says make use of your LMS. Come on, it's the least we can do. Good evening, Ni Lola Olua. Okay, do we still have more people around? Do we have more people in class today? So while we wait for others to join, can you remind me what you learned last week? Yeah, good evening, Faith. And I bring greetings to you from my co-facilitator, Bob Zaya. Okay. Good evening, Adekunle. We learned about masking. You guys are already advanced. You guys are no longer beginners, right? You guys have gone deep, deep and deep. The deep has called onto you guys and you've obeyed, right? And one thing I want to believe is for that masking, I really believe that Bob did. I was part of the class at some point and I saw that Bob murdered it to a very large extent, masking all the way, right? And so, how many persons have tried their hands on it? How many people have tried their hand on masking? Or how many people have tried their hand also on cloning? You'll have seen videos of um, Una. Okay, Tauma. Tauma is a very good clone artist. Who else again is good in cloning? I'm trying to remember. Let's remember another person who does cloning. And we know what cloning is now, right? It's like cloning yourself. In a production, you are the father, you are the mother, you are the sister, you are all in all, right? Masking is one of the major ways to achieve that. But sometimes when you plan your production properly, you may actually have no need for masking in some cloning, right? Hosseini Daniel, are we actually done with masking? Can someone please help me answer him? And I think the classes are recorded. If you have any issues with them, you can. If you have any issues with them, you can always go back to the classes online and attend to it. Much. It took a while before I could install Adobe Premiere Pro. Wow. Okay, good evening, everyone. So sorry, so sorry. Apologies, sincere apologies. My network tripped off. I'm so sorry. I am back, and please confirm that you can hear me now. Please confirm you can hear me now. Okay. I am so thank you so much that you can hear me back. I am so sorry once again. I apologize for the break in transmission. Yeah, okay. So last week we talked about masking, and I think before I went off, I made mention of cloning, and yes, there's still going to be another class on masking, right? So to those of us who probably did not have the full grasp of it, right? Do not be dismayed, right? Just please go back to the last two classes, watch it properly, and try to practicalize what you've learned. And we will still have another class on masking, right? We will still have another class on masking. Okay. Please, Blessing, confirm you can hear me now. Daniel says, how about tracking and masking? How to mask moving object or persons in a video? Right. I think it was part of the things Bob touched because I think when I joined and I saw the masking he was doing on CapCut, but not to worry, we're still going to have another masking class, mastery, yes. But also know that for masking, right, you get better with it the more you practice it. The more you practice it, even if you watch 1001 tutorial and you don't get to practice, right, you don't get to do the frames per frame section masking, you don't get to do the masking yourself, you won't get how to do these things. Okay, so Messi says I only get, okay, that's not for me. Just going to all the classes. Okay. Okay, so once again, I use this opportunity to welcome you and say kudos. Thus far, you have come. We have come to. I've not come to the end, but we have gradually come to the end of a phase of this training, right? And this week will be our last class before we now move into our project, right? And begin to do other other things as the training would warrant us to do. But so far, so good. Can anyone here confirm that your video editing level at the time when you joined this class and at this point, are they still at the same level? Have you improved? Have you seen yourself grown, or has it been a complete waste of time? Right? Okay, thank you, Buki. Buki says she can hear me now. So please, I'm waiting for our chats. This is the ninth week, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry, or eighth week. Sorry, eighth week, if I'm not mistaken. This is the eighth week, right? So have you? I think we started the journey with more like a map where we started with introductory, the introductory level. It got to a point in time we had some sections about storytelling. It got to a point in time where we did, oh, this time around, let us do away with the software, right? Let's delve into sketching, planning, and all of that. Okay. Okay, okay, okay. Sorry, this is not the right slide. That's not the right slide. Sorry, please, just a minute. Let me upload the right slide. Okay. Okay, okay. I see. I'm going through everybody's comments, and we are happy for everybody. So far, has anybody also worked on any projects where you feel like, oh, this is where I'm having an issue? Have you worked on any project and you were able to reach out to any of your fellow students or colleagues here and you got solution from somebody? Oseni Daniel says, can we work on a documentary for the project, like wildlife or any other documentary? I would have wanted the proper Uju Dioba documentary, right? Okay, my slide is up. Yeah, Adeyemi, exactly. Especially for video editing. You cannot just become a pro in video editing just by mouth, just by words of mouth. You have to practice. And like Bob corrected me, say you have to get your hands clean, right? So you have to practice. You have to practice. And I think one of the things I mentioned to us, I think 2 weeks ago, was that we should all get clips, right? To those of us that made it to for Holy Ghost service last weekend, I told us to get clips and edit. How many of us were able to do that? How many of us have been able to do that? Okay. Please confirm you can still hear me. Okay, thank you, Akorede. Okay, so while I await our response for this week, it's just something, something light, right? Not so light, but just part of the things you use to spice up the food is what we're going to be looking at this week. Oh, okay. If Adebayo says he didn't hear of that, okay, there's no problem. There's no problem with that. Can we have a documentary on a wedding or traditional shoot? Okay, so who is getting married? Adeyemi, if you can get us two incubators, if that would be the right words to use, get us two incubators that are getting married, and we will all meet at the wedding ceremony and continue. So, should in case we have two incubators in this class that are already you're already video chatting yourself via editing, please you can reach out to the graphic design team. They can help you with design and we would pick up the journey from there. Oseni says one challenge I'm facing is the quality of my video after exporting. Hmm. So the issue there might just be your exporting parameters, right? Exporting parameters. Please, as soon as I delve into Premiere Pro today, please call my attention to that so you can see one or two things. Are we matchmaking? No, we're not matchmaking. No, we're not matchmaking. No. This is an incubator now, right? And what happens in an incubator? I leave the rest to you. So the organization is big enough to ash your wedding. Okay, so like I rightly said, this is week 8. This is officially the last week for this training, and there'll be a next phase from next week again into another phase of the training, right? And this week, what we're going to be looking at is, that moment when you have cooked, when you cook a very good food, right? And you serve it um, in a stainless plate, right? I don't know if they still use those stainless plates in Buka. I remember those days when we go to Buka, right? The stainless plate they used to use and sell those bread and beans combination, right? Imagine you cook a very nice delicacy, then you decide to use that kind of plate to serve it, right? So that is what we are looking at this week, right? You can have a very good production, but the final touches are part of the things that matters the most, right? You can have a very good storytelling ability or skill, but the final touches are part of the things that help you in retainership, right? That gets the attention of your audience, that grabs your audience attention. So that's what we'll be looking at this week, and why we also go through a proper wrap of everything we've learned from week 1 to this present time. Blessed robots, you are blessed in the name of Jesus. Rest. Sylvester, I've really okay. Okay, so this today's topic is application of effects and overlay, and secondly, working with templates for quick edits. Quick edits. I believe a lot of us will have seen videos that they shot that same day, and you are already seeing edits. Yeah. For example, to those of us who followed Ojude Oba over yesterday, over the weekend, Sunday, right? See that even before nightfall, some people are already releasing their videos, some people are already releasing their pictures. And why is that? It is because they are making use of templates, right? Templates are plug and play. But one thing you need to notice, in as much as templates are to make your work easy and faster, they are not to replace your creativity, right? So, and we'll be looking at it on both softwares. And I think so far, myself and Bob, we've really tried in carrying everyone along with the two softwares, right? Premiere Pro and CapCut. So, and they are similar effects and overlays, right? They are similar. Sometimes you see some videos and you are saying, I think one of the common one is the paper tear effect, right? Or you see the light burn effect, right? To see character effect and all of that, right? So most of the times for CapCut, like we've always established, we all know that CapCut is a cloud-based software, and we literally can do without downloading a lot of things to make use of as templates. We can just make use of it directly on the app, right? But for Premiere Pro, you have to download some of these templates. For CapCut, so for those of us making use of CapCut desktop, right? There's CapCut desktop, there's CapCut for as a web app, and there's also CapCut for mobile, right? So one of the things I discovered of recent, and I think it should be common to both mobile and uh, those that are using it on the web, not desktop, right? So is, for example, you see popular songs, popular high rise and low rise, uprise songs, right? For example, dun 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 dun, and at the moment the sound goes up, there's a change of picture. The picture changes here, the picture changes there, the picture changes there, and you just get that smooth animation, or smooth productions all through, right? Most of them are template. You can do them perfectly with templates, and most of them you can actually do them on your own. And just that I can't actually play sound for you via this training. I would have loved to play a reference for us. So, which software are we starting with first? Premiere Pro or CapCut? The highest, let's the highest bidders right now. Which one are we starting with first? Premiere Pro or CapCut? CapCut people, we should rest now. Okay. The voting is enough. The voting is enough, right? I think we have our answer. Nonetheless, right? Nonetheless, the ways of the Lord are mysterious. In as much as I think CapCut has won this election, but I think we will start with Premier Pro because according to the slide, that's what is already on the slide. So now, for not all elections are free and fair, so it's fine. It is free, but it's not fair. So at least we met one of the criteria. So my Premier Pro farms, AO farms, as you can see rightly on your screen, and it's very easy. One beautiful thing is we've come across it at the point of learning one way or the other, right? But today we'll just pay more attention to it, more details to it, and we'll continue, right? So says you use your effect panel to drag and drop videos or audio effects. You apply adjustment layer for non-destructive effects. I hope we understand what that means, non-destructive effects. If you remember when we were doing color grading, we told you specifically that it is best that you don't grade on your clip directly. You create an adjustment layer and you grade on the adjustment layer because you are going to color correct and you are going to color grade. But if you are doing that directly on your clip, right, that is your clip no longer has the original feel and look, right? So there is no need applying an external force, as physics will say that the body will continue to remain at rest. So just allow your clip to continue to be at rest and do not allow any external force to tamper with it, right? Whatever effect you want to do on it, let us make use of an adjustment layer, right? And on the adjustment layer is where we would add all our effects, our overlays, the paper tear effect, and whatever effect it is you are downloading, sunburn, linear, uh, what else? Quite a number of them. CC Light Wipe, a whole lot of them, right? So that's how it works. Then you use your blend mode for advanced overlay. And if you can remember very well, when I the first clips we used in this training section that I made use of was a redeem logo and the lady with the sky, right? At some point, someone asked the question, I can't remember who. The person asked that how can we overlay and all of that, and I think we did a little practical to see how that works as at then. So today we'll just pay more attention to it and won't be a big deal. So also to those who won the election that were not declared, our CapCut family, same thing applies. I've said it over and over again that CapCut is more of a cloud-based software, and they have majority of the resources in their presets, majority of it for them. So you just go there, activate it, download it. But at this point, at the end of this training, I believe you should have seen the value and the reason why you should have a CapCut Pro account. And to those of us who value it, I think you should have at this point subscribed. And I think we made mention of the fact that you can join forces together to subscribe for it, right? It has not been censored for login like that, like that. I don't think so. So because almost all the effect on CapCut is paid. Almost all the effects right now are paid. So one tap video edits, you get your glitch, blur, VHS, all of them, basics, light leaks, distortion, everything. Overlay tab for stacking clips or images. Use keyframe for dynamic effects. And I believe everybody here understand when I say keyframe, right? So I would be I would be sharing my screen right now. Working on sharing my screen. Please hold on with me. Oh, sorry. I'm starting with CapCut, right? Yeah, admin, please feel free to switch to my screen. So I believe you can all see my screen right now, and should have some previous files saved. Okay, where is it? Digital skill up, digital skill up, digital skill up, digital skill up. Okay. Yeah. So let me play and see what we did here last. Let's all watch what we did last. Okay, this was sound period. Perfectly added the text. Okay. Oh, we all remember Tilo Shadi. the Incubator fashion designer. So now what we talked about today is what we're talking about today is effects, right? And if you come to this section, once you click on effects, you have your effects loading up. Now to those of us making use of desktop CapCut, right? Ensure you are connected to the internet, and CapCut, they update their app like every 5 market days. They are always updating. There's always something new that they are adding also. So you see that CapCut already has majority of these effects inbuilt, right? Inbuilt. You can see. And if you come here, it is well sectionalized, opening and closing effects. Can you see? So it can help you change it from black to white, from white to black. I think I need to be on chat to see if it works. Nightclubs effects, lens effects, light effects. So one of the most overused effects in video editing is light. Any small thing, you see light. Any small thing, you see film blur. Any small thing, right? So you see the way it is being applied. Once you download it from here, once it's downloaded, you click on the download icon. Once you click on the download icon, once it's downloaded to your system, you just drag it to the particular place you want to add it. You see that it is different from transition, right? But I can use it as a transition, right? Transitions will be applied directly to your clip, but effects are added on another layer of your timeline. You can see it. So let's say we want to do old school or this stripped glass. I think I actually love this effect. I've really not made use of it, but I've seen it in some places and I love the application. So you see that stripped glass effect. So it is so simple on CapCut, right? So those of us making use of CapCut, please, are we getting it? Did you get it on mobile also? Let's confirm that we also got it on mobile before we move to what next. Okay, I know that we've gotten to that place of the training where you're already familiar with the mobile already, so I don't need to go to the mobile again to begin to explain where this is, where that is. I'm so happy that we are all getting it and we've all gotten it. So another beautiful thing about the effect is, see, you can edit them here. You can come here to edit them to your preference. How do you want it to be blocked? You want to rotate it. So now, in a situation whereby, okay, before I proceed, okay, Blessing says, let us watch it as a transition. Okay, that's fine. So for example, I bring this star effect, right? You can see that on my timeline there is no transition here, right? I just have the normal cut and move to the next scene, right? So I have layered it properly. I'm layering. Okay, I need to take text up. So now you can see that I've layered it properly, that it gets to the beginning of this of the next clip. It ends at the end of the first clip into the beginning of the second clip, right? So now if I move it and place it properly, now then I play. Can you see? I hope you got that. So let me look for another one. Let me look for the popular one, the light one. Okay, let me download Allos. So I drag and drop Allos because I want to use Allos as an effect, but I want it to also serve as a transition. You just about watch where the effect comes up. You see it? So now I play my clip. You see my lighting effect starting and it moves into the next clip. So that is how. And to go further into it also, you can add it as a mask, right? You see it. So it happens only on that part of the screen, only on the part of the screen where we've maxed out is where that effect happens. I hope we are getting it. Yeah, Buki. Okay, thank you so much, Joy, for that. So we can proceed with what we are doing. So we get that. And now the second aspect of this effect is, let's now say, oh, okay, oh, because you are not able to make use of what's it called, CapCut Pro. How can you still add effects on your clips? So I have downloaded some effects, right? I've downloaded some effects from Bob. Bob gave me some effects that we're going to be using today. So normal, we'll just go back to our media, right? Control imports, Control I, allocate my file. Oh, okay. So please give me a minute. Let me quickly locate my file. See why we talk about proper namings of file. I'm still with you. Please just hold on. Okay, so done with that. Let me share my screen back. Okay, okay. So I'll be copying these three effects. I'll be importing them into my CapCut. These Premiere Pro users, please pay attention because the same thing we're doing here is what we'll be doing also in Premiere Pro. Now, so this is an effect, right? Now you can see that so many things are wrong with this effect. Right. First thing is the orientation of the effect is different from the orientation of the design I am working on. Right. I'm working on a landscape landscape and my effect is coming in portrait. Right. We all know what to do. It's as simple as you just go to the scale and increase the scale. Did we get that? Let me check my feedback. So now let me now play my timeline for you to all see. This is also an effect, but it is not an effect from CapCut, right? It's an effect that is outsourced, downloaded from elsewhere. But when I drag it to my timeline, this is how it looks like. How do I make it do what I want it to do? How do I make it visible so that the clips below are actually showing, right? What you just simply do, I can see this. Okay, so once you click on your footage, right, that's the effect itself. You come to this folder, the video, under the scale. I blew it up to 325 because the initial size was in portrait, right? So you scroll down, you will see blend, and when you click on the triangle facing down, you see the mode, right? This is what we talk about, blend mode. So I click on default and I begin to change it till I see what works best for me. Now, you see the way I've been able to add those characters to my design. You see it? Let me increase my screen size for us all to see. Honestly. Yeah, okay. Now, can you see it? Can you see the cross on our production? So that is how to add overlay, right? If you are not able to pay for inbuilt effects by CapCut, you can go to YouTube. I will also talk about where we can download most of these things. You can go to YouTube and download, right? So those of you who know how to download from YouTube, right? Go to YouTube, download effects, download overlays, right? So I would, we would all get these three effects I am making use of, right? We would all get these three effects. I will send it via Fee to us, and she will drop it for us on the group chat so we can all make use of them. So this is one. So you can see now that on this particular effect, what worked better? Screen, right? You can check for brighter. Now, I will have done overlay, but you see the effect the overlay is having on it. It's not giving me what I want. So you keep on changing it till you find what works best for you. There are times where it will be overlay that will do the justice to the job, right? There are times where it will be screen. There are times where it will be multiply. There are times where it will be color bond that will do the justice for you. So you just have to keep on checking till you see the one that does the job perfectly for you. Can you see multiply? Can you see how multiply is also working? So that's it about. So let me also add the second effect you can see. I'll move this away from my timeline. And the second effect is our almighty popular film blur, right? Same issue we're having. The orientation is portraits, but I want to use it for a landscape video. I blow it out. I click on it. I scroll down, change the default. Is it free on YouTube? Yes, it is free on YouTube. Just type effect overlays, right? You will see them. You should see them on YouTube also. How you will download on YouTube, that I do not know. That I would say I do not know, right? So you can go and make research or find your way around it. Let's just put it that way. So for this effect, I'm going to try overlay again. You can see that overlay is not giving me what I want the way I want it. I'll change it to screen. You can see that screen is doing the justice to it for me again. Soft light. You can see the effect. So you just keep on trying each and every one of them till you find the one that works best for you. So this is another effect. This is the popular particles effect, right? I blow it up like we've done so far. I scroll down again, then I apply my effect on it. And before you know it, you can see the lines, you can see it. So that is it basically for adding these effects on your edits, overlays, and adding effects. Please kindly confirm that I made myself clear. And we will be taking our attendance now. And while we come back, there's still one more thing, which is the part of working with templates, right? So, but before then, we will quickly also do the same thing we've done on Premiere Pro. And I want to believe Premiere Pro users, if you have followed this class closely, by now I believe you should even be using the effect already, right? So please confirm is that if attendance is available now. Okay, so attendance is available. Please go take your attendance and we will be back by 8:07. Yeah, in the next 4 minutes. We'll be back by 8:07. Okay, we are all welcome back to class, and I believe we've all taken our attendance, right? That's the only thing that justifies that you came to class today. So let me ask: has anybody been able to do it on Premiere Pro so far? Okay. Please tag me. Please just hold on. I'm trying to get the effect and see if we can get it across to you guys. Yep. Okay. Please, I dropped the assets on the group chat. Please, if you don't mind, help me forward it to the WhatsApp group chats for them to make use of. Okay, so let's go and look for people that mentioned Premiere Pro and ask them. I sent some resources on WhatsApp. Please, can you help me forward it to the students group chats? Thank you so much, Bertie. Okay, so I want to go and look for those of you that are called Premiere Pro, and I want to call you out. Oluwatofumi David, who again mentioned Premiere Pro. Chinelo. Premiere Pro has been confusing me. How did I miss that? Please come and explain yourself further. Mercy, yeah, Premiere Pro people. Blessing. Undiana Tom. Um, so, Premiere Pro people, please confirm before we go into it. Has anybody been able to make use of Premiere Pro to add effects and overlays so far? Okay, so I'll be sharing my screen right now so we can do same on Premiere Pro. Okay, Truth by Prank says yes. Okay, admin, please share my screen. And try working on now. Okay. I lost my files. Digital. Yeah. Changing my location. So that is Incubator of making up. Severe. Great. And good to go. Admin, please kindly share my screen. Or did you stop sharing from my end? Yeah, I'm still sharing. Okay, so I had an overwrite on my files on Premiere Pro. But God willing, yeah. So as we do as usual, I brought in our clips. Okay, some people says yes, they've been able to do it. Some people say no. So okay, I don't have any transition or effect. Okay. So like I rightly said, also in Premiere Pro, there are some inbuilt transition and effects, right? Just like the same way you have them inbuilt also in CapCut, right? You have some of them inbuilt also in Premiere Pro. So when you come to your effect panel, right? This is your effect panel, right? You can see that we have video effect and video transition, right? So once you click on video effects, you see a lot of effects with the drop down, right? Let me adjust my timeline to fit in for what we are doing. So now you see that the very moment I clicked on video effects, the same way you have it loaded on CapCut, right? You have a lot of the effect also here. You can see blur, camera blur, Gaussian blur, you see channels, color correction, right? You can also pick them as effects. And don't forget the rule I gave, right? Do not edit directly on your clip, right? For Premiere Pro users, ensure always that you create what an adjustment layer. This is an adjustment layer. Once you create an adjustment layer, okay, you drag it to your timeline, you extend it. I don't think at this point we should still have issues with how to create adjustment layers. What's the difference between effect and overlay? Right, overlay is the mood for the effects to be, how do I put it now? Um, Someone should help me out in the chat section, right? Overlay is like, okay, so you are laying, yeah, let me put it in the clear terms. Aside from the function of it being in the blend mode, you are layering things upon themselves, and you want everything on it, each one of them to be visible, right? The same way you have the footage, you have a text. That text again, you still have another edit, you still have another effect, right? You have probably another shape again coming up, right? You can see that they are vertically overlaid, right? They are laid upon themselves. So that is overlaying. I hope you get that. Can you convert a portrait clip to landscape? Is it possible? If yes, how? Can you convert a portrait to landscape? Yes, it is possible, right? But the only problem there is most of the times we get to lose a lot of details. We get to lose a whole lot of details, right? Because your portrait shot in production, right? Once we factor it into it was okay. Let me take one for example. Let me import a portrait shoot. Yeah, my card here. Okay, I think should be able to see what I'm doing, right? So, okay. I'm trying to a portrait clip, a portrait clip. Okay, this look like some random. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Let me bring this in for us to see. This was shot on portrait mode, right? Now, for example, now, can you see that this was shot in portrait, right? Now, I want to make it in landscape. What do I simply do? You blow it up, right? Now, but this, most of the times I've laid emphasis on, I advise that as an editor, you should be on set, right? In a situation where you didn't factor it into it will be a problem. Can you see that for this particular clips now, it still works perfectly, right? So, but there are some clips that when you convert them, you will lose a whole lot of information in the production. Adebayo says video effects from where, sir? From your effect panel. Locate your effect panel. If you are not seeing your effect panel, go to Windows and you will see effect. I hope you can see my cursor now. You will see effect shift +7. Right? As soon as you do that, you would have this dialog box come up. Video effect and video transition. So I've created my adjustment layer and I want to place an effect on it, something that will be so visible. But the problem most of the time is when you apply effects on Premiere Pro, if your system is not a very strong one, it would lag. Now I've added an adjustment layer here. Then what do? I come to my adjustment layer, I scroll down, I locate it. You can see it, effects, Gaussian blur, right? Now I just want it to be not on the whole clip, right? So I reduce it to what you can see so that you can really tell the effect when you see it. Now anything I do on this adjustment layer, blur, color changes, does not affect my clip itself. You see, right? So I've created my adjustment layer, I've added the Gaussian blur, and then I come here, then I increase the level. I really don't know if you can see my screen properly, but I would control that out for you and you will see how it looks like. Let me play my full screen. Now let's start from the beginning. This was my footage. Now this is the point at which I added the Gaussian block. Can you see it? Can you see that effect? Can you see it? Did you see how it worked perfectly there? So you see some clips. So you see some clips at some point you want to blur some details and all of that, right? I can reduce the size of this my adjustment layer. Can you see? So you see those, or sometimes you are watching the news and you see some video playing beneath and they are not showing the person's face. You are trying to wonder how did they do that. Can you see? I reduce the scale, I locate her face, either with tracking or masking, either which one, and I play. Every other place will be clear, but that particular her face will be blurred out. How do I rotate my clip? So same way in your effect control panel, once you click on a particular clip, right? I've clicked on this clip. Can you see rotate here? I'm going to rotate it. Can you see? You can see, right? You see that I've turned it upside down. I hope Adebayo got that. You can see that I've turned my clip upside down. So at any point in time I off my adjustment layer, my clips are still the way they need to be. So did you get that? So any effect, lens flare, right? Now you do what? You bring in your adjustment layer. I go back to my effects. I look for lens flare. I drag my lens flare on it. And so the beautiful thing about what's it called? Premiere Pro is that most of the time the effect, after you've applied it on your adjustment layer, you still need to go back to your effect control panel, right, to animate it. You see the way I went back to my effect control panel to go and animate the Gaussian blur, right, by increasing it. So that's the same thing. So now on this particular adjustment layer, there is lens flare, but the lens flare is not visible. So for me to make it visible, I have to create a keyframe. Hundred. At this point, we reduce it to, let's say, a 9. We come forward again, reduce it, we increase it to an 100. So that's the beautiful thing about this lens, this effect in Premiere Pro, right? You can add a lot. You can search for your effects the same way we search for them on, what's it called, CapCut. Can you see? It's as simple as it is just drag and drop, drag and drop, drag and drop. If you try to drag and drop any effect and you see that your system is lagging, uh, I beg you, please immediately deactivate it, right? Immediately just delete the adjustment layer unless your system can drag till God knows when, right? So that is that about the effect. And the second aspect, which we also did on Premiere Pro, is also import those assets, right? I import the same asset that was used on Premiere Pro on CapCut, right? And I drag it onto my clip, onto my timeline. I click on that particular one. I take my cursor to where it is. Now, did you observe that this layer was actually turned off? So the effects I was applying, you were not seeing it. Just see that, oh, all the things I'm doing is not working now. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Meanwhile, just because you toggled off and on a particular layer, right? So same way. Now in Premiere Pro, how do you now change the blend mode? Right? After you've clicked on your file that you've imported, your effects, right? You come to your effect control, you scroll down, right under opacity, you will see blend mode. You want it to be on normal screen. You can see that Premiere Pro has more effects compared to our contemporary. So we'll leave it as screen. And because my effect is on portrait and not on landscape, I will do what? I will blow it up. And once I play my footage, you will see it. Can you see? Can you see the effect? Can you see the effects? So please, my Premiere Pro family, please let's all confirm that we've been able to understand this. Everyone, CapCut. Okay, so that is it basically for adding effects and overlay. Would there be any questions so far? Same thing we did on CapCut, we've been able to. Same thing we did on CapCut, we've been able to do on Premiere Pro. So, okay, let's go back to our slide. Then let's go back to our slide. Let me run us through to the end, and I think we'll be good for today. Okay, so where to download templates, right? Where to download these effects, right? I think I made mention of YouTube earlier, and we have always made mention of motion array. And please drop in the comment section if you know where we can download these effects and templates. Motion array, Evanto elements, Adobe stock, mix kit, motion VFX, and the likes. And the tips for best results is keep your overlay subtle to avoid distraction, right? Sometimes I see some production and the overlays are just too much, the effects are just too much, right? You are putting a whole lot of things together. Please, Blessing, confirm that you created an adjustment layer. I believe you are using Premiere Pro. Create an adjustment layer first, then drag your effect on top of your adjustment layer. And I think I said this earlier, use template to speed up workflow, not limit creativity, right? Preview effects on short sections before applying to the full video, right? Especially Premiere Pro users, please and please. One effect can crash your system. One single effect can crash your system if your system RAM are not very solid, right? Yeah, let me use solid. I remember one of the effects I normally have issues there was CC light, like, right? But that one is in After Effects. CC light, light sweep. That moment where you animated the logo and you just want it to have like as if there's a light sweep on it, right? And when it comes to rendering, my system is going to use like next 4 hours as then to render that particular effect. So please and please check for DaVinci. Check what's it called? See DaVinci Bros. But you should also see some DaVinci template on what's it called? Evanto, right? And I'm only attending to that, but you know fully well that we are not making use of that software in this training. So please let's do away with questions from DaVinci. Learning without a laptop is not easy, but nevertheless we should not be discouraged. Okay. Thank you for encouraging us in the Lord. So the last point here says preview your effects. Right? There was someone, where is Oseni, what's his name? Oseni made a complaint about his edits, exporting. I don't know if he's still on this call. Let him come up again with his question before we call it a day and we meet Tuesday on Thursday, right? And please, like I would always say, get your hands clean, get clips, get footage, make use of these things. Like it was the Ademola that said it earlier. The more you get to use these things, the more you gain mastery over them. Okay, Oseni Daniel, please, what was your question? What was the issue you say you were facing with exporting? Okay, the quality drops once he exports his video. Mm. Like I rightly said, okay, let me quickly share my screen so you can see that. Admin, please. My screen is up. So, for example, now we're done with this clip, right? Now, and I want to export. Once again, you click on your exports, right? Your export might not be directly up here depending on your version of Premiere Pro, but you can locate exports by coming to File and locate exports, right? I think I should go. I think that will be easier for you. File, export, media. So now you see this edit here, these settings here, right? It matters a lot. Now confirm your match source. We already addressed. I think if you go through YouTube, the incubators page on YouTube, you will see where we've already addressed exporting once again. But sometimes also these things they can get very funny at times, right? So you just try to pay attention to all of this information. So match source, make sure if you tried high bit rate and you felt you were not getting what you wanted, try medium bit rates, right? Reduce the bit rate, right? And sometimes I've also encountered problem like maybe I export directly on 4K, right? If I export a file on 4K and I send it via WhatsApp to you, some phones are not able to play it. I've experienced it time without numbers, right? So most of the times to send preview to people or to clients, you just want to send previews at low quality, right? Adaptive low bit rates, but just for preview sake, right? So please confirm that your settings align with your sequence also. I think some previous version of Premiere Pro should be able to show you your, what's it called, frame per seconds and all of that and all of that. Yeah, on that video, right? So you can see now, because this is Premiere Pro 2025, this one is directly matching my clips. Yours might not be matching your clips. I really can't remember how it looks like. Sure you get. So just ensure that all of these parameters, and ensure your bitrate is at VBR1 pass. Yes. She tries to picture how older version looks like. So if you're able to pay attention to this, right? You try the first preset, it's not working, you try another format. But most of the times the format that would work is your H.264, right? So sometimes you just keep on trying to, or has anybody faced that issue and was able to rectify? Another thing you can do also is you send it to media encoder, or if you go and render there. Any questions so far? My thought they will be looking at working with templates, and we'll be downloading some templates, and maybe on Friday we might have some students come and do live edits for us. We'll pick randomly. We'll pick random students to come and do live edits. What do you think? We'll provide the clips. We'll provide the clips for you, and we'll just do a live edits from our students. Innocent, please go and watch the second. Yeah, I think Bob addressed FPS, right? Please go and watch the second week, first or second tutorial. Yeah, first or second video on YouTube. You would have a full grasp of what it looks like, or what it is. You don't need to spam us with it. Yeah, no decisions has been made yet. I'm going to speak with my co-facilitator, and we'll speak with the organization also, and see if it's possible to have maybe, let's say, 2 or 3 persons come and do a live edit. PC or phone? Well, we would decide and let you know. And so at this point, we are bringing today's class to a close. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Okay, drop your suggestions. Let's have a phone user of CapCut PC and Premiere Pro PC. Okay, no problem about that. We will consider it. Why is it not possible on phone? So, a very big thank you to everyone who has joined today's class. And I want to say that, it's been interesting doing this with each and every one of us, to be very honest, right? You guys, your dedication, I see how some people are using. Is that same phone you have your CapCut on? That's the same phone you are using to watch the video. That's the same phone you are using to chat, to drop your comments. And it's a whole lot of dedication, right? A whole lot of determination. Thank you so much, and we will see you on Thursday, right? We will see you on Democracy Day, right? Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I hope we've all learned something today, and we will see once again. And once again, I bring you greetings from Bob Zaya, my co-facilitator. See you all on Thursday. Thank you so much. Bye for now.